Japan Station is made possible in part by amazing people like you. If you'd like to make sure that I can keep bringing you more content about Japan, the Japanese culture, and the Japanese language, then consider joining the Patreon over at japankyo.com/Patreon. You can join for as little as $1 a month, and that will get you early access to episodes, plus ad-free versions. I also take one-time donations over on Ko-fi, Venmo, and PayPal. Links are down below.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Japan Station.
Welcome to Japan Station, the podcast where we teach everything you should know about Japan, plus a few other things. I'm your host, founder of JapanKyo.com, and the anime linguist on YouTube, Tony R. Vega. Today we're talking about Famiresu, which is a type of restaurant that you can find all over Japan. They're very convenient, usually quite affordable, and there's a lot to talk about. So I won't get into it because that's what the episode is about. And by the way, this is a rebroadcast of an episode of Ichimon Japan, the other Japan-focused podcast that I used to produce. So if you used to listen to that one, you may have listened to this one already, but whatever the case, the information here is, I think, pretty much all of it is still quite relevant and interesting. So there's definitely a lot to enjoy here. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, leave a rating and a review on whatever podcast app that you use. That would be a great help. And really, seriously, like that stuff helps with rankings. And like even a little boost in rankings, like those days when I see, like, for example, an Apple podcast, the podcast go up in rankings, like, it's because there's more downloads coming in. So that stuff really does help. All right, guys, let's get into it. Here's the episode.
Okay, it is a restaurant where their primary clientele are families, or that they're hoping for. They don't like not let you in if you don't have kids.
Sir, we can't let
Bring
you
a
in.
kid or you can't come here.
Yeah. Welcome to Ichimon Japan. I'm Tony.
And I'm Ryan. And we're hungry.
And we are, I am kind of hungry actually, and we may be hungrier by the end of this. So Ichimon means one question, and every episode we ask a question about Japan. Today's question is, what is Famiresu? So this topic was suggested by one of our wonderful patrons.
They get a little horn too.
Thank you. So Kuro is the name of our patron. Thank you. We will talk a little bit more in depth about the exact questions that you asked probably in the second half of the episode. But right now we're just going to talk about the topic in a little bit more general sense. So, Ryan, what is a famiresu?
It is a family restaurant.
Yeah, basically. Well, that's a little vague because a family restaurant in English, you can also interpret that as a family-owned restaurant.
Okay, it is a restaurant where their primary clientele are families, or that they're hoping for. They don't like not let you in if you don't have kids.
Sir, we can't let
Bring
you
a
in.
kid or you can't come here.
Yeah. Now we do
Chuck E. Cheese does that.
We do offer children here. 1 hour is 2,000 yen. So if you want to rent this child and sit with it while you eat, we can offer you that service. So
the menu expands the more kids you bring. Like you only get page 1 with 1 kid, but you get 3 pages with 2 kids.
Yeah. So no, that is not what Famiresu is.
It's the Japanese version of something very common in America where families go. And in terms of like aesthetics, they look pretty similar, I'd say, to Western family restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Probably less decorated. I feel like America is really big into putting just like random crap on the walls.
So now this is a really... So the term Famiresu is a bit vague. And so we get into like kind of splitting hairs. Like, so for example, I think you're thinking of something like maybe like a Ruby Tuesdays or like what else?
I don't know what a Ruby Tuesdays is. So No.
maybe like a TGI Fridays or certain of these kind of restaurants that, yeah, they are open, and it seems like, a lot of families do, or maybe like a Chili's, maybe that would be another decent example. They are like kind of decorated. They're a little bit more like in the range of a theme restaurant, perhaps. Now, do they qualify as famiresu? It all depends on how you define famiresu. Like, is famiresu like, I would say that, are you talking about famiresu as like the Japanese style famiresu? Are you talking about restaurants in general that are, very much geared towards family? So I think that's
if
the
family
ultimate...
has ever entered it, they are a family restaurant. That's my definition.
Okay, so then that is I think the crux of the argument. It's like somebody that would think of it that way, and somebody that would go like, the famiresu is kind of its own unique genre within Japan. There's like, you can kind of say it's a little bit different from the stuff that you see abroad, even though there are many similarities. So, but the generally, okay, so yes, famiresu comes from the term family restaurant. It's a portmanteau. You get the fami and the resu, bam, you get famiresu. Now, the classic famiresu, as it's known in Japan, like if a Japanese person says famiresu, you're typically going to think, a place that is usually it's a little bit more spacious. It's not like a tiny ramen shop or anything like that. It's usually a bit more spacious. They will offer usually a varied menu, that even if it's like within a certain genre of like, they serve Italianish food or Chinese-ish food, they'll still have a pretty expansive menu. A lot of times they have like big pictures in the menus. A lot of times they have drink bars, which, you can get all you can eat.
That's the iconic thing for me, is, does it have a drink bar?
Right. Yeah, you can just go up and you can fill your glass and drink as much.
Drink bar means you can get refills for free, but they're do-it-yourself, because in Japan, refills are very, very rare. Fast food also does not give refills. Yes.
So, yeah. And
Costco does. Therefore, Costco is a family restaurant.
So the glasses tend to be rather small, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think it's because the drink bar is free. They want you to...
Yeah, they don't want you to indulge too much.
Well, it's not free. It's going to be like usually around 300 yen, I'd say.
Right. Yeah, the refills are free, but you do have to pay for the service.
I went to a shabu shabu place that had a drink bar. Therefore, it is also a family restaurant.
See, but
I'm being sarcastic, but it actually was a little bit of like a family-leaning shabu shabu place.
Yeah. There are definitely places like that, and some of them do eventually. I don't know. Sometimes they do fall under the proper category of famiresu, and sometimes they don't, and sometimes they're very famiresu-ish. It's a really there's a lot of gray area, and this is exactly why Kuro asked us this. And again, we'll talk more about it at the end. But the classic famiresu, you kind of know it when you see it. There's gusto, there's joyful, there's what's another one? Saizeria.
Saizeria is like the main one for me.
They're very common all over the country. Gusto is pretty common in that was one of the first ones that I went to in Osaka, I think.
I think we only have one Gusto near me.
Yeah, they're also very regional. Some of them aren't in like everywhere. Also Royal Host, Bamiyan.
Yeah. I mean, there is also Denny's.
Denny's, yeah. There is a Denny's, but as we'll discuss further, even though it has the same name as the American chain of restaurants, Denny's, they serve different stuff. They don't usually.
The menu is, I think, entirely different. Like, I think literally nothing shared. Well, assuming you don't count like iced tea as a shared item.
Sure. Yeah,
I think literally no food items are shared. But I think the look and environment is pretty much the same. I guess it's a little bit fancier in Japan. Yeah, it doesn't have the like crappy, low budget reputation that people in America think.
Yes.
For the record, I like Denny's if they're listening. I'm not trying to be down on it, but I know most of my friends get angry at me if I suggest Denny's in America.
Look, I'm fine with Denny's. If somebody says, let's eat at Denny's, I'll eat at Denny's. But just the phrasing of what I'm about to say just is funny to me, so I'm going to say it. But a friend of mine in Florida one time described Denny's as filth on a plate.
Honestly, I think Denny's is better than like the trendy family restaurants like TGI Fridays by a huge
Yeah.
degree.
Yeah, like I
If
would
we're
not.
gonna go into bashing, I think TGI Fridays is the filth on a plate. That place is horrible.
Like I would not describe any of them as filth on a plate. I just found the hyperbole there as divinely amusing. So, but anyway, yeah, like Denny's fine, whatever, like nice big breakfast there, nothing wrong. Yeah, it's not fancy food, but it's perfectly fine. But anyway, the larger point here, sorry, we went off on a tangent, but is that, yeah, Denny's is a famiresu in Japan. They serve like Japanese style, some Westernish food, but they serve like the classic fare.
If you ask Japanese people, they'll say the entire menu's Western, but you won't recognize anything on its restaurant.
No, it's probably like hambagu and very like Western inspired Japanese dishes.
I used to get some kind of turkey sandwich, I think, because it's hard to find turkey in Japan.
Yeah, they do have sometimes burgers and sandwiches. They have a very.
I think it doesn't have burgers.
I think Gusto has a burger, but it's a very Japanese burger.
Okay. At least off the top of my head, every family restaurant I've been to, I think they have hamburg, but they usually don't have hamburgers.
Yeah. Like I said, Gusto. I think I even had a burger at Gusto, but it was like such a thin piece of meat and very Japanese-ish and not particularly satisfying in that circumstance. But yeah, for the most part, it's more hambagu than hamburger. So the point is, yeah, there's a lot of these classic chains that fall under the Famiresu umbrella. Now, what exactly, like, when did these originate and all this? What's the history? So according to the history that you find online, everybody seems to agree on this when you look it up. I don't know. They might all be citing the same propaganda, but I don't know. it all points to 1970.
Prehistory in the Jomon era. Japan invented these.
Yeah. Emperor, what's it, that guy? I can't remember that guy's name.
Emperor Jomon.
Yeah, there you go. Whatever. I don't know.
That's not his name. That's
not his name. No. I can't remember.
Emperor Famiresu.
Jemu. Oh my god, I can't remember. But anyway, the point is that the story goes that in 1970, in the Tokyo suburb of Fuchu, the first what we know today as Famirii Restaurant or Famiresu opened, and that was a Skylark. Today, Skylark is known as Gusto, and Skylark survives, I believe, as the parent company of multiple Famiresu chains, of which Gusto is one. And by the way, Gusto, I'm pronouncing it Gusto, but it's written Gusto, Gusto. In Japanese, it's pronounced Gasuto. So anyway, 1970, that's when the official start of the Famiresu boom takes place. That expands, and then I think the next year, Royal Host opens up. I think that's down in Kyushu, Kita Kyushu, if I remember correctly, or Kokura, somewhere in that area, northern Fukuoka. And then in the next few years, both start to expand, and then we get more. We get Saizeriya in the late 70s, and I'm sure many others popped up around that time as well. Probably Bikkuri Donki, which is another one. I think around the 70s, they expanded into a Famiresu style operation. And the according to what I read, these were inspired largely by American quote unquote family restaurant. I think what they're referring to are like more like diner style places, which started popping up more in the US, like as long distance travel by car became more and more common, in the 50s and 60s. A lot of these roadside diners were popping up. So, and you can get that, like a lot of these places do have a diner-ish kind of vibe, but just a lot more Japanese. So, that really seems to be like what sparked it off. But the whole idea was, to cater to, families, to create these environments that were very like, how can I put it? Like it wasn't intimidating to enter. Like you don't want to go to like a rundown little ramen shop in the middle of nowhere. That's more of a place where you might see like guys drinking and eating, I don't know, unhealthy food. You want to just have a nice little roadside kind of place where you could drive up and take the family to have a quick, cheap, affordable bite to eat. And then, you move on with your day. And so,
one thing I was going to say when we talk about drink bars being iconic, if you're outside of the big urban areas like Tokyo and Osaka, I think these places always have their own parking lot.
Yes. I think, as I said earlier, they tend to be a bit more spacious. So you do see them fairly commonly in more suburban and rural areas. And they can be kind of hangout spots, especially for younger kids, like maybe like high schoolers. They got nowhere else to go. They want to kill a few hours. They'll go there, just hang out, have something like order the drink bar and stay there for like 4 hours,
Yeah, I think I went to one in Osaka that had a sign saying you couldn't do that because like junior high kids would like order one thing and then play Yu-Gi-Oh for 4 hours or something.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like you couldn't stay. It was specifically you can't play card games, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like I know back in college, like some kids would go there to study. Some I think the Gusto in the university that was closest to the university I was going to was open 24 hours. I remember staying one night there pretty late. That also happens at McDonald's sometimes. Like I stayed like, oh my God, like most of the night at McDonald's one time. We had nothing else to do. So, there's some similarities in that regard, but young kids, people with not much money, they might spend something cheap and stay there for a really long time. Another characteristic is you get the menus with like a lot of pictures as well. But it's this kind of place where you kind of recognize it when you see it. But as I mentioned, there's a little bit of a vagueness to it because then you get into, like, for example, what Ryan said, the shabu shabu place that was very Famiresu-ish. But is it like a classic Famiresu? Maybe not, but it's also definitely firmly within that, Famiresu territory.
I just thought of a funny one I need to throw out before I forget. Yeah. There is a really good burger place like near me in a prefecture called Fukui that is modeled very much after an American 50s style diner.
Oh, okay.
So since Famiresu is also modeled after diners, they're kind of based on the same thing. And this other place does serve burgers, but I think it wouldn't be classified as a family restaurant, which I think is just kind of funny.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. They're both inspired by the same thing, but one is, I guess you could say, more accurate to the original inspiration.
Yeah, the other one is, it's very accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very accurate to 50s style diner, which aren't very accurate to the 50s, but
right. Yeah,
it has all that like American memorabilia like on the walls and stuff, and like you can get like milkshakes, and it has that kind of like Back to the Future looking booths you can sit at and stuff. Cool.
Oh, that's nice. So let's see. Yeah, so a few things here. I'll just mention one here, and then we'll get into some of the other ones. But some of these places, like for example, Denny's, Big Boy, Coco's, they're all like in some way or another offshoots of American like chains or restaurant groups, whatever you would call them. But they're not.
Was Saizeriya American?
Which one?
Saizeriya?
Did I say Saizeriya? Because I didn't intend to say Saizeriya if I did.
Maybe my ears are messing with me because I'm also like reading something. So maybe.
Okay, no. So Saizeriya is not. Coco's, Denny's, and what was the other one I mentioned? Big Boy.
Oh yeah.
And there's probably one or two other ones.
They removed the Bob.
Yeah, they removed the Bob. So Bob's Big Boy in the U.S. They're a pretty well-known burger joint from California, and like even the mascot was very well known. He shows up in an episode of The Simpsons in one of those Halloween specials.
That's Lard Boy.
But it's but it was definitely inspired by Big Boy. But all of these serve totally different stuff. Like if you go to a Big Boy expecting hamburgers, you're not going to get it. You're going to get hambagu, which is the Hamburg steak. Same for Denny's.
May I tell a story?
Please go ahead.
So when my mom visited Japan the first time, my mom is the pickiest eater on this planet and only eats about 4 things, none of them available in Japan.
Oh my God.
So I don't remember how she found out there was a Big Boy. She must have like searched the internet, but she found out there was a Bob's Big Boy and she wanted to go there.
Yeah.
So we went there, and when she saw that it had no burgers and just hamburg, she got like really upset, refused to eat there, and like walked outside.
I mean, when you go expecting
she didn't
something,
get like angry or anything. It was just like very disappointed, I guess, is more accurate.
Yeah. No, I mean, I understand if you have your hopes set on something and then you get there and it's totally different. I can understand.
Yeah, she did not create a scene. This wouldn't be something that would be like crazy forward or yells at statue or anything. But
yeah.
We did go outside, and she was like, "Oh, I can't believe they don't have hamburgers."
You know, it's tough. You know, I mean, hey, if you're a picky eater, it can be tough. So. But you know, I lived in a place that was like a 5-minute walk from a Big Boy in Kobe.
Okay.
So I've been to Big Boy multiple times. How can I put it? I don't dislike hambagu, but I rarely crave it. I'll eat it and I'll happily eat it, and there's good hambagu, but I rarely go out of my way to have hambagu.
I think I'm the same. I don't think I've ever sought it out, but when it comes in like a bento or something, I'm happy to have it.
Yeah. And I particularly enjoy the the Big Boy hambagu, because it was particularly like meaty. It was particularly thick. I don't know. There was something a little bit different about it. So I do like the Big Boy hambagu. So
I still never had it.
Oh, okay. Because my
family's not welcome there anymore.
Yeah.
Now, nothing happened. It's just I don't live near one anymore. The last one I knew was in Osaka, and it wasn't really that close to me.
Some of these are very regional. You don't get them all over the country. So anyway, you do get those a lot, but a lot of them also, like Joyful and Gusto, they're original Japanese creations. So I do have a few more interesting little side facts and stories, but we'll leave that for after the commercial, and then after that we'll get into Kuro's specific question. Hey guys, I just dropped a new t-shirt over at mechanekosushi.com. That's mecha like the robots, MECHA, nekosushi.com. So the new design, I love this design. It's a literal interpretation of the brand, Mecha Neko Sushi. So it's a sushi robot cat. And this was done by my good friend, a Japanese artist based in Nagoya named Akihiro Horai. It's such a good design. So go check it out. Link, of course, for the shop is down below. Every sale helps support what I do here. The stuff costs money, and you know, you don't have to join the Patreon, but you can consider getting a t-shirt. They're available in multiple colors. So go check it out. Again, it's a really cute, fun design. I think you're going to enjoy it. If you're into Japan kind of stuff, I think you will really like this. And of course, if you want to support the show by getting a voice and data SIM card for your next trip to Japan, you can do that by going to mobile.com/TonyJapan. That'll get you a Japanese phone number and data for when you're in Japan. Again, mobal.com/TonyJapan. You get 10% off and you support the show. And of course, you get your SIM card, your voice and data plan, and all that. So we all win. Again, links down below, Patreon and Ko-fi and all that, of course, down below as well. Links down below, right? japankey.com/Patreon. Let's get back into it. All right. So just a couple other specific Famiresu that I wanted to mention before we get into Kuro's question. So one that I have not mentioned yet, but I discovered, in Tokyo. I didn't live in Tokyo. I lived in the Kansai area mainly. So I didn't know about this place until I went to Tokyo. But there's a chain called Jonathan's. And
Jonathan?
Yeah. So it's the English on the sign is Jonathan's Coffee and Restaurant. But Japanese people just call it Jonasan. No like zuzu or su sound to represent the possessive. So I looked up, like, first of all, like, why is it called Jonathan Z or Jonathan? And the answer is very anticlimactic. They just picked it as a name that seemed like a very common name, like just an everyday kind of normal person sort of name. And so, the whole feel of the restaurant was this kind of a place that you could go to. It wasn't some fancy place. It was accessible to everyone. And so they wanted to go with
wanted to be forgettable and generic.
Kind of, yeah. That's basically, you could say that, yes. So they picked a very normal, common name. Nothing against Jonathan's, but it's a name that is not like uncommon, right? So I guess that's what they went for. The
exact opposite strategy of Bikuri Donki.
Thank you. Yes. So we'll get to that one too. But so they went with that, and this was, I think, in the 70s, around the the what's it called, the Famiresu boom, I guess you would call it.
I would name my restaurant Famiresu Boom, like all emoji.
Oh my God, that's
no one's forgetting that name.
Yeah. So and then why is it Jonathan instead of Jonathan's, even though it's the apostrophe S there? Just because it's easier to pronounce. So Jonathan instead of Jonathan's. And I do agree that is easier to pronounce, but it's not what's written on the sign. So yeah, don't go looking for a Jonathan. There ain't no Jonathan. So another one regarding Bikkuri Donki. So Bikkuri Donki is such a memorable, such a like weird, just quirky name, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's great.
So just for anybody that's unaware, bikkuri means like to surprise or to be surprised, just depending on the context. But bikkuri generally surprise, and then donki is donkey, like the animal donkey from Shrek, right? That's where we all know donkeys from.
Is the donkey itself surprised, or is it more like surprise? It's a donkey. Because I hope it's the later one.
I think that is not clear, but one. I looked up to see if there was some interesting story behind the name. And then in one article that I saw, the translation that they offered was odoroita roba, which means the donkey that is surprised. So the donkey is the surprised one in this translation.
It's still ambiguous. It could be like, watashi o odoroita roba, and they just cut off the first part.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I guess it wouldn't be odoroita.
Odorokaseta, but yeah.
Dang it! I want it to be the donkey is surprising us. Like you go into the kitchen and you expect to see chefs, but it's just a donkey. There's not even food in the kitchen. Like you don't know where the food comes from. It's just a donkey.
It's all donkeys.
And then some guy behind you says "always has been" and pulls a gun out.
What? That is a bikkuri.
That's a meme. Like yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that meme. But yeah, it's not clear. Like, is the donkey the bikkuri? Is the donkey bikkuri in you? Is something else the bikkuri? Yeah, I don't know. It's not clear.
What bikkuri's you?
What bikkuri's me? A donkey in the kitchen. That bikkuri's me.
That would bikkuri me too.
Yeah. So I one article that I found was the idea behind the naming was that the wish for the restaurant is that it would grow big and strong, much like a donkey, and they were fine with it even if this took a long time. So it was like a slow process, much like a donkey is known for being kind of a slow animal. So that was the idea for the donkey, but that didn't really offer any explanation for why the bikkuri was there.
Well, it would be not great to just name your restaurant Donkey.
But interestingly, Don Quixote, the abbreviation, the short version of Don Quixote, which is a popular like anything goes, almost Walmart-ish kind of, but crazier store, chain store in Japan. People will shorten that to donkey. So when you hear that out of context, it sounds like donkey, but actually it comes from Don Quixote. It's just a portmanteau.
By the way, there's a Don Quixote and a Bikkuri Donkey in Mi City, like about a block from each other. So you could
Donkey
literally
Town.
say, "I'll meet you between donkey and donkey."
Yeah. So 2 different donkeys. I don't know where the bikkuri came from. I am not satisfied with the explanations I found, but that's what it is. And bikkuri donkey originally began as a just one shop in 1960 something. I forget the exact year in Iwate Prefecture. I think the original name of the store was called Bero. And in the 70s they expanded and eventually took on the name Bikkuri Donkey.
What's more weird, bikkuri donkey or bikkuri bero?
Bikkuri. Well, given that bero can mean tongue,
yeah.
I mean, surprise tongue or surprise donkey. I don't know which one's weirder. I don't have an answer. Yeah, they're both pretty damn quirky. So bikkuri donkey, yeah, just for the name alone, I love it. But it is pretty standard hambagu type stuff. I think, if I remember correctly, it's been a really long time since I've been to bikkuri donkey, but I think they also have really, really big menus.
I think so. I went there once 4 years ago.
Yeah,
and I think it was big. I think that the portion sizes were fairly quite large too.
Yeah, I think maybe that's why, like, the bikkuri, maybe just big portions. You go bikkuri, it's a donkey, and then you see the donkey in the kitchen. So maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
Don't talk to the donkey though. It's bad manners.
Yeah. Okay, so one more. Saizeria. That is, I don't know if it's the most common one, but my goodness, you see it like whenever I would travel around Japan. Like, it's like, oh, there's a Saizeria. I go to Hiroshima, there's a Saizeria. I go to Kyoto, there's a Saizeria. Like, they're all over the place.
My anecdotal experience, I think literally for every one other Famiresu, I see 4 Saizeria.
Yeah, it's super common. Yeah. And just for anybody unaware of Saizeria, it's the quote unquote Italian Famiresu, but I mean, it's not, don't expect authentic Italian, but by any means. It's known for really 2 main things. It's known for Italian-ish food and for being super cheap. It is one of the cheaper Famiresu, even though Famiresu on the whole, even though Famiresu are not known for being expensive, Saizeria is still known for being the cheaper one of the Famiresu. Like back when I was living
usually 24 hours.
But a lot of them are. And when I was living in Japan back in like 2010 to 2013, I remember one of the things that they were also known for was 100 yen glasses of wine. So, I'm sure with the increase in the tax rate these days, it might be 110 yen wine, but it's still probably a really cheap glass of wine. And I never had it, so I can't speak for its quality, but probably if you want to get cheap
Top
wine,
tier.
Saizeria. Yeah. I mean, it's fine. It's food. It's edible. There's nothing like innately wrong with it. But if don't go there expecting like good Italian food, you're expecting something very, very cheap.
Yeah, so. I do gotta put it, like, it's supposed to be Italian, but it's pretty much just normal Western Japanese food. I guess there's a slight Italian focus, but you can get things with no connection to Italian food.
Yeah. They also, I don't know if they still do, but they have a paella there, which is definitely like, you don't want to call that a paella in front of a Spanish person. Let's put it that way. Wasn't particularly good, but I mean, it's Saizeria. Expect what you're paying for and you won't complain, but if you expect anything more than that, you'll complain a lot.
It has the reputation of not being great, but being good enough for its surprisingly low prices.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been to it many times and I will probably go to it again, but you just got to go in with the right amount of expectations. So I was curious what the heck Saizeria means, right? Because it's not like, to me, it sounds vaguely Italian. But also like the ya at the end, like that in Japanese, like you can put the ya at the end of something and it becomes a store, like hanaya. Hana means flower, ya means shop. So hanaya. So you could, it kind of sounds like you're talking about a Saizeri shop. Right? So then you go like, well, what's a Saizeri? But they don't use kanji, right? It's all katakana, or no. Is it written in Romaji? I don't remember.
It's in Romaji, yeah.
Okay. But
it's like red text in a green circle, I think. Well, like, yeah.
So I was curious, like, does this have some sort of meaning? And I dug around. I found a few different articles, and it was really tough to get a good answer on this. Like, I found one article that claimed that okay, so the story is that in 1960 something, this shop was already operating as a privately owned just shop, like one owner. And it was in I think it was in Chiba, if I remember correctly. And so then this university student started working there, and eventually this guy took it over in the 70s and then started expanding it. But the store was originally called Saizeria, like that was the original name. So he kept the name and then just started expanding, and it turned into this big like national Famiresu that we know it today. And so in that article, it said that the name Saizeria was based on the Italian word for kuchi nashi no hana. Now, I'm not an expert in Japanese flower names, so when I looked that up, what I got was gardenia. Because kuchi nashi literally means no mouth, and then hana is flower. So that's the name of a flower, and I got gardenia. But when I started looking up what gardenia is in Italian, I didn't get Saizeria or anything that sounded like Saizeria. Basically, I just got like, it was either gardenia or something very close to gardenia. Like it wasn't particularly different. So I couldn't get that. And then I started looking further, and I found one claim that Saizeria meant, I think it was gardenia, but in French. Again, I tried looking up in French, but I didn't get anything resembling Saizeria. So I don't know. I don't know if people are just claiming this and it's not true, or if there's just some obscure Italian word that I can't seem to pull up because maybe that's not used these days anymore. People just use something that sounds more like gardenia. I don't know. So if there's any Italian speakers out there, you can send me an email, ichimon@japankyo.com. Or tag me on Twitter @Japankyo News or something. Let me know, because I couldn't find a good answer to this. I don't know if this is one of these, like, sometimes you get like made up English words and made up other foreign words in Japanese that kind of sound like that language's word, but they're not. They don't exist. And so I kind of suspect that Saizeria is that, but again, I don't really know.
Considering this was like the 60s, right? I suspect he did. I mean, they didn't obviously have the internet. It could have literally been he asked a friend who he thought spoke Italian. He's like, oh yeah, Saizeria. And he's like, okay, Saizeria.
Or it was, one of those know-it-all people that refuse to ever admit that they don't know something. So he just kind of like, I know Italian. Yeah. It's Saizeria. Yeah.
Saizeria. You have to do it like that.
Yeah. So, thank you. Tomohiro.
I studied there for 2 years, of course.
Yeah. And he was actually like, hiding away because he failed college entrance exams, and his cover story is that he went to Italy for 2 years.
You'll never know.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's Saizeria. It's all over the place. And one other thing, that university student that took over the shop, apparently when he started, he shifted the focus to more like Italian-ish food. I don't know how authentic it was back in the 70s, but whatever, the story is that he shifted the focus towards Italian food. It wasn't selling very well, and then he cut the prices by like 70%, and it became super popular.
Is it Saizeria that's the one that it's like owned by a mathematics dude who like tried to calculate everything out to make it like affordable for people?
Oh, I remember that story, and I don't know if that's Saizeria.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think it was. But I don't remember the full story, but yes, one of these family restaurants is run by like some dude who wasn't like a business major, but was a math major. And he tried to like very carefully calculate, like, if they order this and they order this, this will go with this, and I want the price to be under 1,000 yen.
Yeah.
So everything came out cheap, and it all came out with like kind of funny prices where it's like 382 yen instead of just being like 400 or something.
Right. Yeah, I think I saw a Japanese TV in some special or something. But yeah. Oh, and also Italian food wasn't particularly popular, I think, in the 70s yet. And then in the 80s, there was a big Italian food boom. We talked about that in the bubble era episode a little bit. So if you want to learn more about that, go listen to that episode all about the 1980s Japanese bubble economy.
It is definitely quite popular still today.
Oh yeah. And you get some really good Italian food, pizza. You can find some good like stuff from people that actually went to Italy and learned there and came back, and just some top quality stuff. So
you can also find Caesarea.
And you can also find Caesarea. Yeah. Exactly. If you just have like 500 yen, you want to eat a cheap ass pizza, that's where you go, man.
You get a pizza and wine for 600 yen.
Yeah, exactly. If you're in the mood for that, and there's nothing wrong with that, go check out Caesarea. All right, it's all over the place. Okay, so let's get to Kudo's question here, because this is
real quick. I was gonna say, if you are a tourist, you probably should go to Caesarea, just because it's a very like authentic Japanese experience. Not in the sense like traditional Japan, but like modern day. Everyone in Japan has definitely eaten there, probably like 20 times or more in their life.
Yeah, I would say if you're only like in Japan 4 or 5 days, maybe don't go to Caesarea. But if you're there for like 2 weeks, go to Caesarea. You can check it out just for the story, just so you find out what we're talking about. All right. So what was the inspiration for this episode?
The first questions we had were, what is the definition of Famiresu, and is Sizzler a Famiresu?
Okay, and then keep going with the rest, because
Are Kaiten Zushi Famiresu, and how about TGI Fridays?
Okay, so wonderful questions here, because we're going back to this whole thing that we were talking about at the beginning, how it can be kind of vague, right? Like some of these restaurants seem very Famiresu-ish, but they're not classically classified as Famiresu. So let's go one by one here. So Sizzler. Now, for anybody that's not from the US, Sizzler used to be a pretty popular chain of restaurants in the US, but I think a lot of them closed like in the 90s and 2000s. I think it's pretty rare to see one these days. It might have even totally closed out. I don't know.
Google.
Yeah. So, but Sizzler was particularly well known for their cheese bread and kind of seafood, and like I think they had like a buffet style stuff. I've only been to Sizzler like maybe 3 times in my life, and it's been years and years, so I don't remember exactly. But I do remember their cheese bread, and I do remember a lot of their advertisements on TV would advertise lobster. So, but as I said, I think they either closed completely or a lot of their locations ended up closing, and they only have a far diminished number of locations. But anyway, so it's an American restaurant, and they're
small interesting thing I just found.
Yes,
because I was looking if they closed. As of 2011, all the international ones are no longer American. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, they're owned by Australia.
Interesting. Okay, so this is getting
weirder. So they did
weirder.
Start American, but I guess they were sold to Australia in 2011.
Makes sense, because I think that's around the time that Sizzler started disappearing, because they were just not doing well. They started closing down.
I did not know they were in Japan. I don't believe I've ever seen one, but I found their website, so I guess they're somewhere.
Okay, good. Thank you for confirming that, because I had not seen one either. But sometimes you do see these American chains pop up, and there's only like a handful of locations. Like for example, Hard Rock Cafe.
It looks like they have 10.
Okay, that's not that many, but it's more than I was expecting.
And they look like they're all Tokyo.
There you go. Yeah. So usually when you get these small, numbers of these foreign restaurants, they tend to be in the big city areas. As I was saying, Hard Rock Cafe, I think there's one in Osaka. There's probably a couple in Tokyo, and I don't think there's that many more. So anyway, I've never been to one of these Sizzlers. I don't know if the Japanese Sizzler is somewhat accurate to the formerly American Sizzlers. Sizzler.
There still are American Sizzlers. It's just the ones outside of America are now Australian.
Oh, okay. So this is just getting weirder. Licensing again, like for example, Sizzler. They probably licensed the name from the American Sizzler, and now I don't know what the heck is going on with I don't know what they do behind the scenes. But the point is, I don't know if they serve something like the American style Sizzler or if they serve the Japanese style food. If we're talking about the Japanese Sizzler and they serve the Japanese kind of food that you would get at like a Japanese Denny's or a Gusto, I would say, yes, that's a Famiresu. It's exactly, the same as the other ones. If they're serving American, like lobster and cheese bread and what you would get in an American Sizzler, I would argue that might be an American theme restaurant in Japan or something like that. And it's a very, very fine distinction because Sizzler is still catering to the families rather than, like late night drinks or something like that, right? So
I got their menu actually. It's actually, I think, like what the original American was. It's kind of mostly a steakhouse.
Okay, yeah.
Which would be, I guess, like a little bit like one tier above family restaurant.
Yeah. It's usually
they do have a kids menu though.
But Sizzler, they do have a kids menu. The American
you can get a hamburger with a smiley face.
Nice. But for example, like,
chicken nuggets.
That's very American. We gotta, yeah. So yeah, for example, like I know there's an Outback, or there used to be. I don't know if it's still there, but there was an Outback Steakhouse in Osaka. That place, as well as Hard Rock Cafe and probably Sizzler, is a bit pricier. Also, there's a Tony Roma's, or used to be. I don't know if it's still there. There was a Tony Roma's in Kyoto. That place was a bit pricier than your typical Famiresu. So if we're going by that standard, we're outside of the price range of what you would normally consider a Famiresu. So I'm going to say no.
From the business standpoint, I think the main idea for a family restaurant is cheap enough for a family to eat.
Yeah.
And these the steaks at Sizzler were all like 2,000 yen plus, which I think would price them out of family restaurant.
Yeah. I think about 2,000 yen would be the upper limit of, like maybe you get the fanciest hambagu like combo menu or something, right? Like that would be like the upper range usually.
Unless it says it in the most expensive thing is like 500 yen.
Bring me your most expensive item.
Bring me your most expensive wine. The 200 yen wine.
So what you're telling me is you want the whole bottle of the 100 yen wine, right?
You get the whole bottle and then you get a fancier cup.
Okay, so we're going to say no for Sizzler on all regards, even though I do see the somewhat, similarity there. Okay, so we're going to skip Kaiten Sushi and we're going to go to, what was the last one that she brought up or that he brought up?
I think TGI Fridays.
TGI Fridays, okay.
I've never seen a TGI Friday in Japan.
I've never seen a TGI Fridays in Japan. I went to a TGI Fridays in Taiwan.
Okay, they have a Japanese website.
Okay. And I'm thinking that it's that same kind of like...
it's all Tokyo.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Oh wait, no, they have one in Nagoya, they have Kanagawa, they have Chiba, and Guam for some reason is on the Japanese website.
Guam caters to the Japanese audience and they try to give them an American experience. So I'm thinking this is a Sizzler-ish kind of deal in which, you're going there, you're paying a little bit more. You're just getting a more quote unquote American experience. So it's a little bit more on the one step above Famiresu kind of style.
I haven't gone to a TGIF in like a decade because, again, they're my most hated restaurant. But their menu appears to be trying to be like the American style restaurant, not the Japanese family restaurant style food.
Okay.
It's a bit cheaper than Sizzler, but it's all over 1,500 yen.
Okay, yeah, that's a little,
probably still kind of puts it kind of high. Yeah.
Okay, so I think on all regards, we're going to say no, but again, I do get there is, it's tough to say like 100% no, but I'm going to say like 85% no. Now, let's get to Kaiten Sushi because this is the one that has the strongest argument for yes. So for anybody unaware, Kaiten means like revolving sushi, right? Sushi is just a different pronunciation of sushi. So it's conveyor belt sushi, right? Now, there's different kinds of conveyor belt sushi. There's the tiny hole in the wall.
What? Oh, okay, yeah. Well, there's also the hyaku in a plate ones.
Right. Yeah, there's the really affordable, but like also like tiny hole in the wall kind of place that you might find. Usually so I'm thinking one specifically in Kyobashi. Do you remember Kyobashi, Ryan, in Osaka? It's on the way to Kyoto. You stop by that station if you're going on the Keihan line. But anyway, Kyobashi is this very nighttime kind of town. You get some seedy bars and, red light district-y kind of places, cheap food and izakaya. And there was this one kaiten sushi that I would go there because it was very cheap. It was tiny and it was just convenient because it was right by the train station. and it probably seated like 20 people. The food was perfectly fine. And so I would go there sometimes with my friend. This is definitely not a Famiresu, even though it is conveyor belt sushi. But there's this other kind of kaiten sushi like sushiro and kappazushi, and there's probably a few other of these big chains that I can't think of, but sushiro is one of the biggest ones that are very much like they're 99% like Famiresu, right?
Yeah.
Brightly lit, very welcoming, cheap, like, a lot of times like 100 yen plates. They have a variety of food. Sometimes they'll even have like udon. They'll have desserts. They'll have karaage and hambagu sushi, like rice with the hambagu on top, like nigiri style sushi. And they very much cater to children. They'll have the little bullet train that you can order, and the bullet train will bring you your little order of whatever, your cake or your sushi to your table. And they do have menus too sometimes. And they're usually bigger, right? They're very spacious. A lot of these places do have parking lots, because if you're bigger, usually you're in a slightly more suburban or rural area. And their commercials absolutely, are geared at families. So I would say that classically you wouldn't consider any kaiten sushi as Famiresu, but these are definitely like very Famiresu.
Do you know Kurazushi?
Oh, yeah. I've been to Kurazushi too, yeah.
Okay, for me, that's probably the most Fami restaurant one, because not only do they have the little bullet train things to deliver it, after you eat, you put your little sushi plates in like a return hole that kind of works like a little slot machine that plays a game.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like this is totally designed to appeal to like the 6-year-old you bring with you.
Oh, yeah.
And me, and also me.
Oh, but they're fun. They're absolutely fun. Like a lot of these places, they'll have like touch screen ordering, right? So you have a little touch screen on your table, and then you order whatever sushi you want if it's not on the conveyor belt at the moment. And some of these even have games, right? So you can like go through the menu, and you can find some games that you can play. So absolutely geared at kids or people that like games.
I gotta point out too, Kurazushi has surprisingly good French fries.
I have not tried their French fries.
I make it a habit to try French fries in places you would not expect to have French fries.
Okay.
And theirs were very, very good.
I love French fries and I love sushi, so hey, no complaints there. Now, one other thing that I want to point out about kaiten sushi is when I just looked this up just to see if anybody had any opinions regarding whether kaiten sushi classified as Famiresu. And I found an article in the Yomiuri website, the Yomiuri newspaper website, and the title was Naze kaiten sushi no Famiresu ka ga tomaranai. And what that means is, why is the Famiresuization of kaiten sushi not stopping? So basically, it's saying that a lot of these kaiten sushi are adopting things that you would associate with Famiresu in order to appeal to families and things like that. So it's certainly being acknowledged that they're becoming more and more geared towards family. So in a way, yes, but the counter argument here is that when I was looking on Wikipedia to see a list of Famiresu, there's a nice list there that organizes them by the parent company, because parent companies will own multiple Famiresu chains. For example, Skylark owns Gusto, but they also own a bunch of other ones. But on that list, you didn't see any kaiten sushi. So that tells me that a lot of people don't typically qualify kaiten sushi as Famiresu. So it's like yes and no. It kind of is, but classically it's not. But in more modern times, kaiten sushi are becoming more and more Famiresu-ish. So
yeah, I do think it's changed in even the last 10 years that I've been here, and it's at this point I think it definitely is Famiresu.
Yeah.
But I think people don't think of it that way because of like tradition, I guess.
Yeah, they just haven't updated their classification,
Like,
I guess.
Most likely, if you ask like a high schooler or younger, they'll probably say yes, but then anyone older will say no.
Yeah.
I have not tested that. I just kind of get that vibe.
I haven't. I did ask one Japanese person. I asked, "Are kaiten sushi famiresu?" And she said, "No, they're sushi." But I think that simply saying kaiten sushi isn't clear enough, because you might think of that little place that I described in Kyobashi that was like a 20-seater. That might be your first impression of a kaiten sushi, because a lot of them are like that. But if you say, but what about sushi-do? What about kurazushi? What about kappazushi? Then they might start to say, oh, okay, well, maybe those kind of, right? So yeah, it's a little vague, but it seems like it's certainly, if you have a Venn diagram, it's going to be in the middle. There's certainly a big overlap. One thing that I just remembered now that I brought up that list on Wikipedia, Sizzler was on that list. But I still don't think that it should be classified as a typical famiresu, because they're not doing that same sort of thing that we were talking about, like, for example, with kaiten sushi, where they're really marketing it at families and trying to bring in the kids and making it affordable. So that list is certainly not the be all end all. I think they were just putting in all the restaurants that were owned by that parent company, and Sizzler happened to be owned by that parent company, so they just lumped it in there.
As mentioned, I've never seen one. I'm just going from the information I could see in the pictures online, but it doesn't really look like it. But I mean, maybe if you see it in person, they're just trying to dress it up a lot for the website.
Yeah. So vague, but if we're going by the most classic image of a famiresu, then I still stick by no with Sizzler. And also, I looked up the definition of famiresu in a Japanese online dictionary, and it basically just said that it was a restaurant that families could go to, very easily, or
so every restaurant.
Yeah, well, not every restaurant, but kind of like what we've been talking about, where it has to be kind of affordable. You have to have big seating. Usually, it can't just be like a bunch of counter seating. Usually, you're gonna think about a lot of these places having parking rather than like being in the middle of the city and being a tiny little place. So yeah, I think that's what they're kind of implying by easily, or kigaruni, I think was the Japanese word that they used in the definition. So there you go. So Kuro, I hope that kind of answered your question. I know you mentioned in a follow-up message that this is something that you and your friends would sometimes kind of talk about and kind of discuss. It's that sort of like is a hot dog a sandwich, or is it a hot dog? Like, it's that kind of question, right? It's like you can argue about that all day, and you can then go to the dictionary and try to figure out what the by the book definition is, but there will be people that always have a certain opinion, because it's you can argue both sides of it. So there you go. Do you have a particular favorite famiresu, Ryan?
I think the places I most like aren't famiresu. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. Usually I don't go to famiresu, but I don't dislike them.
I went to a kaiten sushi place that is leaning heavily on the family restaurant style that I liked, called Sushi Kuine.
Oh, I've been to one of those. Yeah,
they had kind of rare fish, which I liked. I got barracuda.
Oh wow! Okay, I didn't.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever had barracuda. But yeah, if we're allowing kaiten sushi, then number one, kaiten sushi by far. Any sushiro, kurazushi, kappazushi. I love like super expensive sushi, but I also love like the cheap 100 yen stuff. I will eat any of those like super like childish like little nigiri sushi. I will eat all of that happily. I'll have the white cake that comes out at kappazushi. I'll eat it all. I absolutely love it. So we'll leave it at that. Go try Saizeria. Go have your
get the wine. Upper end wine, the 200 yen wine.
Yeah. Go do that. If you are
glasses of age, the 100 yen wine.
Drink responsibly, especially when you're drinking cheap wine. All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for the patrons. If you have any questions, send them over. We love hearing from you guys. Sorry it takes us months to get to them, but
and then months more to release them.
Yeah, and then months to release them. It'll probably be like 6 months after. But anyway, sorry, we do get to them. But anyway, thanks guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.